If it ain't good news to the poor, it ain't good news. If it's good news to somebody who's already got it good, but if it's good news to somebody who doesn't have it good, who's had it taken away, who's suffered, who's hit rock bottom, if it's good news for them, it is good news. There are two definitions for poverty. One is insufficient amount or inferior quality. Poverty. Insufficient amount. Food, education, housing. Inferior quality. Education, housing, food. There's another definition for poverty, and that is a renunciation of wealth as a religious vow. The thing that's been blowing my mind this week, y'all, is that Jesus took a vow of poverty. That the God of creation, who created a world of sufficient abundance, took a vow to become poor, to become good news to those who had lost everything. Those from whom it was taken away, God decided in the person of Jesus to give it back. To give it back. And so Jesus came among us and gave it back, infectiously healing people, infectiously building community around him so that 5,000 people decided to share what little they had, and everybody got fed. The miracle of God's presence among and including giving life and hope and power and restoration, giving it back. Because so much has been taken away. And we do it to each other. But God said, I'm giving it back. In the person of Jesus Christ, in his ministry from the moment he was born in a feed trough to the moment he died because he could have become powerful and rich and influential, and instead he chose to be in solidarity with those who have had the ultimate taken away, death. To be in solidarity with the criminals, solidarity with the ones we don't even want to think about. We don't want to give them any grace. Jesus gave it back. Death between two criminals. Death between people who also had been profoundly oppressed and destroyed by the culture, by the religion, by the world. He gave it back. And what's been the most amazing thing to me, you all, I have never thought about this before. You might have, so don't, you might be like, whatever. But to me, this is incredible because in the story of Mark, it's the oldest resurrection story. And our gospel reading kind of brings in some supplemental stuff that was added later. But in the original text of Mark, scholars see it as the last thing that happens is they run away. Those women run away. And they don't tell anybody. They're scared. They're shocked. They don't know what to do with it. We know what happens later. But when they get to that tomb, they don't know what to expect. Jesus, who died for the one poverty we're all going to also experience. We might be completely happy, healthy, have a beautiful life, but something's going to be taken away, and it's our lives. It's our bodies as we know them. And Jesus experienced that. But then something happens afterwards. And these women go to the tomb, and he's gone. He's gone. God, who has died and resurrected, isn't even in the story. These women who are marginalized, they can't really be witnesses at the time. They also have experienced loss of status and dignity. Go to the tomb. He's not there. There is a guy in a robe sitting on a rock, and he says he's not here, he's risen. But Jesus doesn't show up in this first story. Jesus is just gone. Does anybody else think that's kind of weird? Like, would we really start a religion that changes the world and Jesus isn't even there, right? the sense that he does appear later, and the stories we know because people died in their conviction that Jesus was raised from the dead. But at this moment, he gives his resurrection away. He doesn't even own it. He doesn't even say, like, I have risen, I'm here, I'm powerful, everyone's going to know. It's not even about him. Do you see that? Do you see the power of this? That even the resurrection is given to us to make of it what we will. Wow. That blows my mind. I'm sorry, but that is amazing. That God would say, I want you to be a partner with me in giving it away. In giving away hope. Because, if they had seen enough to be completely persuaded, if everyone in the world had seen that resurrection, which God was capable of doing, right? God could have everybody saw the risen Lord. But instead there was hope. Hope is the substance of things unseen. The presence of something you know is there, but you can't see it. You have to walk by faith. And we, as resurrection people, we walk by faith, and we give it away. So how are we being resurrection people? How are we remembering the 1.2 billion people who are in this world, breathing the air with us, who are experiencing poverty? Have we decided it's time for us to take a vow of poverty, to walk in a way that we give instead of take, where we walk in a way where a sufficient abundance is enough for us, and what comes on top of that is our gift, so that the world may be healed, creation, and others. We are a people of resurrection hope. We have a God that is mind-blowingly loving, mind-blowing willing to invite us to participate in the healing of the world. And even when we fail, even when we don't think we're sufficient or adequate, the love of God wraps around and invites us to participate. Forgiveness and power given and given and given to us. The Lord is risen indeed. May we walk in that resurrection power. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks for what he has done. Let the rich remember their poverty, and let the poor remember they are rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And they will remember it when the gospel is good news for all of us. Amen.